I don't know what's going on. It's like my internet just went out. They done found out. They done found out. It's been working. I'm telling you, it's been working fine the whole time. That is crazy. Okay, we are live. Let me see if I can put us both up. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Let's Talk About It, Steph. I have my favorite guest on here, Kenneth, and I have this young lady who is running for Irving mayor. I just cannot wait for us to have a chance to really talk to her and see exactly what's going on in her life. So y'all know it's always something. The man that found out that I do the podcast at 7 o'clock and he shut off my internet. But you can't stop me because I got other internets. I'm well equipped. Try again. So, what your mom always tell you, be ready so you don't have to get ready. So we're ready. All right. So I'm gonna pop you on. All right. Hello, everybody in
Hello.
Jackson.
Yes, ma'am. Glad to be
Hi.
here.
I'm so happy to have you on here. Oh my goodness, we got a lot to talk about while I'm working on this internet over here. But please tell the people about who you are. And y'all, she has such a beautiful name. I just love her name.
Thank you.
So go
So
ahead.
to begin with, my name is Johnny Jackson. I'm 29 years old. I am a candidate for mayor of Irving. Currently, I am a mother of three children. I've been married for 10 years. I've done a lot. I was youth pastor. I was youth president of New York, of the New York jurisdiction in Kojic International, where I oversaw over 100 churches. I'm really excited. But I'm here, I'm in Texas, and I know that Irving can use some youthfulness and some diversity. And so, yeah, I'm here.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So y'all hear from Miss Jackson. She's ready, y'all. So make sure y'all get out and support. When is your race?
So, we have until February 15th to completely submit our application, and then voting starts in March, and someone will be elected in May. I'm
Okay,
excited.
okay.
Yes, ma'am.
You should be. Now that's one thing about the mayor race is completely different than everybody else. You don't have to worry about the primary stuff that's going on.
Not at all. Not at all.
So tell me about your town. Tell me about your town.
So, Irving is home to nine Fortune 500 companies. And it is extremely diverse. I mean, we have different ethnicities there, different religions. It's a beautiful city, all different types of colors. And we're a growing city. And we have the safest city. I want to say the safest city in Texas, but that's a big statement. So I'm going to say the second safest city statistically, and I'm just proud. I'm happy to be in my city. I mean, we have an amazing police department. We have an amazing fire department. We have a great community. I met some amazing people at City Hall. I think they are awesome representatives. But again, I do feel like it can use some youthfulness and some energy. And so I'm looking forward to bringing that to City Hall, bringing something new, something innovative, and just setting the city on notice that we're here. We're ready. We're ready to listen to the residents, and we're ready to tackle problems. So I'm very proud of our city, but we have some stuff that to work on.
Who don't at this point? Yeah. Well, that's amazing. I'm very proud to have you on the show, and especially to talk about your city. I used to work over in the urban area, and I can tell you that is true. It is very diverse. And one thing about being in such a, I would call it, I'm from Louisiana, so I love to say gumbo, but it's such a pot of gumbo.
Yes,
You have everything,
yeah, absolutely.
and the people are so friendly.
So
They're
friendly.
friendly.
I
I
have
don't think I
never I have never experienced racism in Irving, to be honest. I've never, not from the Latinos, not from the white community, not from the Indian community. For the most part, it really do feel like a family. Like everyone is there. We're all there to raise our families. We're there to send our kids to school. It's low in crime rates, so I think all of us are on the same page when it comes down to just living in peace, you know.
you know what that's the most amazing thing right there. Now I'm in Denton County, but we're
Mhm.
like right there between North Fort Worth and Fort Worth and Denton. It's just a little, I'm in a weird kind of situation over here. But most of the people over here, I think they kind of like country rural area and stuff, and we got some pretty nice folks over here.
In Denton.
Very fun.
I wouldn't
Yes.
say more friendlier than Irving, but I was Denton is okay. It's not Irving.
It's definitely not a melting pot, but we have so coming in to where it's gonna stir this up. Okay, be on the lookout now. Don't let Denton sneak up
Absolutely.
on Denton
Absolutely.
eyes.
Yes,
You're
ma'am.
surprised. It's a great opportunity basically everywhere, especially with all the businesses that are coming here. And I know you all are y'all planning on getting the Mavericks back? Is
If it was up to me, I would definitely bring the Mavericks back. If I had that option, if City Council brought it up and I could vote on it, I definitely would. I would pass it in a heartbeat. I love the Mavericks. So having them right there would just, yeah, that'd just be an overkill for me. Ultimate joy. I mean, we already have ExxonMobil. We have a lot of great companies there. We have amazing small businesses. I don't want to just talk about the corporations because there's so many amazing small businesses in Irving, so many diverse communities. There's a Puerto Rican restaurant right now that I'm actually trying to save in Irving, and they have amazing food. So, the small businesses sector just range from small restaurants, family owned restaurants, to family owned shops, family owned gas stations, so I'm just, Irving is it. It's the place to be when it comes down to corporations, small businesses. Absolutely. And I believe that we're going to have a surge and more growth in the coming of years.
okay, look at
Absolutely.
you. Claim it, claim it. I'm
Yes.
one thing now I can say I can echo on that, man. Irvin is amazing, and they do have some very good food. I'm a foodie, and Lord, somebody can get me with the food.
The food is
Don't
good. They have so many different restaurants. You can taste the whole world in Irving. Never have to drive further than 15 minutes. So, yeah.
yes, yes. I'm telling you, I love. They have this. I think it's Hong Kong. That's over off of Is it 635? I always get my interstates 180. That's over there near the Walmart.
Let me tell you something. My husband is a truck driver. He's really good at roads. I've never been good at it. I can't help you with there. I leave him. I let him do that part. But I think it is 635. There's a possibility.
Well, you see, when I finally switched over, I got control again. But I'm ready just in case they try to shut me down again. I'm ready for
Wow.
them.
Wow.
All right. So, y'all, please give a shout out to my wonderful guest. She's doing such an amazing job, and I'm
Thank
here for
you.
it. I am
Thank you.
here for you
Thank
going
you.
out there and becoming the next mayor. Who are you running against?
So there's a couple of people, but I feel like so far from what I have heard, one of my biggest opponents, which I don't want to give him that much credit, but Herbert Gears is one of my competitors and or opponents, and he ran for mayor before and he won, and he's running again. He says he has a vision for the city to bring change, but I feel like, I mean, he rarely uses his social media. So he's not going to be able to bring the same innovation and the same change that I can bring. I know how to look at the city while considering things that are currently developing, trends, technology is a big one for me. And I don't see Herbert bringing a technological shift when it comes down to City Hall and trying to connect with the actual residents in Irving. A lot of people in Irving have been feeling disconnected, and there's reasons why. So yeah,
See, you said the word disconnected. So our topic today is why are people so disconnected? And it's so much is going into that. It's
it
like
is.
people feel like, well, those that I have spoken to, they feel like they're tired. They're tired of listening to the news because you don't know if they're telling the truth or they lying to you. Social media, in which I love my social media because it's a lot of times you can find out things more so on social media than you can on the news, because the news is like they're handicapped, they're captive, so they can't really say too much that everybody else can. And I believe in our First Amendment right that we have the right to be able to
Absolutely.
be freelance journalists and talk and do it peacefully with without anybody threatening to do a John Lennon on us,
Mhm.
because Lord, I do not do well. I won't do well in no jail. I'm sorry. I can't go there. So
Yeah,
I'm
me
going to do
neither.
what I need to do, follow the rule. I will push back when I have to because, that's what it's all about right now. You can protest, but make sure you don't give them reason to lock you up
Watched it.
and or unalive you. You
Absolutely.
want to be able to see your family the next day. Speak your piece, but do it in a way to where you're not being effective. And right now, I don't know about you, Janae, but I feel like after Miss Goodwin wound up being unalived, and then that young man, what is it, Pretty, him, I'm like, enough is enough. So they've unalived 9 people so far. 9. ICE have unalived 9 people so far, and it's not getting any better. It's not getting any better. So my question to you is, and I know you're going to probably be asked that question too about ICE in your city. Irving is such a melting pot. I know the chief of police and the sheriff will be like, "No, y'all ain't coming over here." So how do you?
I feel that same way. When it comes down to the people that I have met personally, I feel like they are very considerate of their residents. And so I feel like if anything, I don't see them saying, "Hey, ICE, you can come here and you can set up camp and you can build a whole warehouse over here." No, you can't do that in Irving. We're not going to allow that. We're going to protect our people. We're going to protect our immigrants. We're going to protect our residents. And again, we're going to go to bat for them. So if that means standing up against ICE and having a spine, then if I have to do that, even if I am elected as mayor, if I have to stand up against ICE, I absolutely will. And I would do so very swiftly, and I will show plenty of strength, without hesitation. We don't want ICE in Irving. We don't want ICE to harass our residents. We don't want that. We want them to feel safe. We want them to know that we're all together. Yeah.
I agree with you. I'm running for Denton County Commissioner, and
Okay.
hey, and the one thing that I can say is that, hi Kenneth, I see you now. I'm gonna add you on here. Okay, there you go. The one thing that I just can't hear you. The one thing I don't like is secrets and having secret meetings, and that's what the current mayor did
Uh-huh.
with the ICE director. They had secret meetings, and then here you go now in 2026. The county commissioners are like, well, yeah, let's go ahead and pass the 287G. We want to work with ICE. Why would you want to do that? You know, your people do a good enough job as it is pulling people over. Now you're putting folks in a way where they're stressed. You have a lot of immigrants that are legally here that are afraid to even go to work. That's
Afraid to go to
stressful.
the restaurants. They're afraid to go to the restaurants. The restaurant that I'm trying to save in Irving, the Puerto Rican restaurant that I mentioned earlier, that's one of the reasons why they have saw a decline in their business. Most of their clients was immigrants, and now they're afraid to come out and eat. So it's all of the fear that ICE is causing is affecting the small businesses. We can't have that.
We can't, because you know what's going to wind up happening is the small business. What is going on? The small are going to wind up closing because of the simple fact is they can't get the customers or they can't have workers. So those two working together is going to cause them to wind up closing. And I understand about how a restaurant work because my father used to have a restaurant, and when they had that they call it a riot out in Shreveport, but it was a disturbance. I look at it as a huge disturbance. But it was hard for him to rebuild and bring the customers back, because of the simple fact is people were afraid, and especially the Caucasian were afraid to come to the restaurant because they were afraid they were going to get something was going to happen to them because at that time there was no peace, and that's why how Dick Gregory wound up coming out to Shreveport to try to calm it down. And it's like right now I feel like we don't have any strong leaders out there to kind of calm things down. They're the ones that are trying. I
Mhm.
tip my hat out to them. They are trying, but it's like we're missing that peace. We're missing that Barack Obama kind of style to kind of like calm the temperature down because the temperature has got to calm down. Hi, Dale. Dale, what you doing with that ski hat on? Let me bring you up.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah,
Good to see you.
I'm wearing a hat because I shaved and that was a terrible mistake and I do not like the way I look. But it will grow back.
Okay. Dale, they got me in wigs.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they
a
got
thing.
some.
Yeah.
Now, but don't let me tell you something. Don't get into no boxing match because somebody might knock your wig off like they did that boxer
Oh yeah.
the weekend. So be careful with that. Po thing. It'll grow back quick.
Yep.
But we're on here talking about why are people feeling so disconnected today. And
I mean, here's the thing, we don't talk enough about community fragmentation and how language barriers and cultural divides and things of that nature keep us separated from each other. You know, in the urban community, but in DFW in general. And I believe that City Hall, if I was elected as mayor, that's one of the things and one of the main initiatives that I will pick up is to create community in our community and figure out how to get rid of those divides so that we can come together as a people. And you mentioned earlier about strong leadership. I was raised, my mother is a very strong woman. My godmother, very strong woman. I came from a lineage of very strong women. And so we believe in creating solutions as we go. And I think earlier we was mentioning Herbert. One of the things I feel like the difference between me and Herbert, if Herbert is elected, he's going to come in with his own ideologies versus me, as I will adapt as I grow in my position and as I continue to listen to the concerns of the residents of Irving. I won't come with my own solutions. Rather, I will listen for solutions. So, you know, that helps. It brings community, it brings us together, it shows strong leadership abilities. So, you know, yeah.
I love that. Dale, this is Janae Jackson, and she's running for Irvin mayor.
Hi, Dale.
It's good to meet you.
It's good to meet you as well.
Thank you for running. I know it takes a lot out of candidates. It takes a lot of time and can even take a lot of money. So thank you for running. We definitely need people running for office.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm glad to run. I'm happy that I'm here. And I'm happy to be on the show and to meet you and Stephanie. She's giving me great questions. I love the energy. And I just feel like I can't wait to hear from Dr. Kenneth and get to know him and everything that he's doing. I haven't met him yet, but I know that Stephanie so far, I mean, we're just meeting, but I can already tell that you're going to be amazing in your position. So, yes, ma'am. I'm with you 100%.
Hi, Dr. Kenneth.
Oh, hi, Stephanie. Can you hear me?
Hey, I can hear you.
I have been fighting with my laptop. You know, this Mac got a new update and nothing wants to work today. So I'm fighting with it. And TikTok said it was live streaming, but then I couldn't see you. I'm asking, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I feel like I was mute throwing sign languages.
Listen, don't feel bad because I said the man must know I'm on here because I've never had my internet to shut down at home like that. At 7 o'clock, it shuts down. I've been on the internet all day and it shuts down straight up at 7 o'clock. I say, yeah, they trying to shut me down. But
It's
I
a
had another.
conspiracy theory. Josh, close the door for me. It's a
That's
conspiracy theory going on around here. But I'm sorry to join you. I heard you guys. Hey, Dale. So I guess I need to run on the stage and reintroduce myself. My name is Humpty. Let me stop joking. All right, guys. I know I came in late, but for those that may not remember me, if it's still streaming live on my TikTok, my name is Dr. Kenneth Morgan Aguilera, and I'm running for Congress in Texas 12th Congressional District as your next congressman, replacing that old Craig Goldman bootlicking Donald Trump, but I'm gonna digress. Just to give you guys a little bit of history about who I am again. I know I've been here before, but I'm a veteran. I also been working in healthcare for more than 25 years. I'm running for office as someone who has experience, who understands the grit and what it takes to lead and lead from the front. I have spent my life giving back to the community as an executive director running many healthcare organizations such as MD Anderson, Memorial Hermann. I've run several hospitals and many other multi-billion dollar facilities. So running businesses is not something new to me, but serving my country as a congressman would be new. But something for me that will not change is I have always and will always be a very straight person, down to earth individual who understands the struggle. And I feel like being a candidate today, And my motto has been, how in the hell can you represent me if you don't understand me or understand my struggle? And as somebody who grew up with a mother that had 7 children from the southwest side of Chicago, I understand what it's like to grow up in a struggle, to have the government food stamps, the welfare, the projects where the rats are bigger than your shoes just about, and they'll eat right next to you and won't run. So I get that. I understand that. And that is one of the reasons why I'm working so hard for the working class family. And I have no doubt that I have the grit and I have what it takes. But I will say, most importantly, is that I am not a politician. I am just like you, the everyday person. But I am going to keep it real, and I'm not going to give you the answer that I think you want to hear rather than give you the answer that I believe is honest and that sits with my soul, and not be some fake individual, because we have enough of that in Washington currently as it stands. And that is part of the reason why I believe people now and voters are disengaged, because there's no genuineness, there's no realness in politics today, because people are telling you what they think you want to hear, but it's all words, no action. And I will use the example of people in Minnesota are protesting. They're saying what they do not want, and that our government is not taking care of us, from the Supreme Court to the president, our elected officials, senators, and congressmen. They're not doing a damn thing rather than a good song and dance. And people say we don't want ICE, we want ICE defunded, but yet they are in Washington. They've passed a bill in House and Senate. So again, the people's voice, people are speaking, but we're not being heard. So they feel like, why in
Absolutely.
the hell should I tune in and listen to you when you're not listening to me? You're not listening to what I need and what we need as a whole. And so that is why I believe people are in disengaged, because they're not feeling heard, appreciated, or understood. And that is something that we need in Washington, is people that actually lead and that is actually there for the people, not there to get rich, not there playing politics. So if that is what your goal is, you need to stay your ass at home, and watch TV, but let people come to the front that actually wants to lead the country and do things the way they should be done and looking out for the people. And with that being said, Vern, back to you.
Woo! Ooh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Y'all. Oh, hold on. Hold on. I gotta do this for. Who is it?
It's
It's Angela,
it's
y'all.
me! Finally! We tried to do this before, but Verizon interfered. I was so sad. So thank you so much for having me back tonight, Stephanie. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too. That my friend Angela, y'all. She is running for Denton mayor.
Whoop whoop.
Female running for I mean, this is a girl club of mayor. I'm gonna have to go get East Texas mayor. She's up there running for mayor out there too. I'm gonna have to get her on.
Yep. Yep.
Oh
Yep.
my goodness. I,
Absolutely.
I'm I'm
Did you
loving this.
know this to me blew my mind when I started doing the research about it. Denton, Texas has only had 2 women serve as mayor in its entire history. Like,
Wow.
does that blow anyone else's mind besides me? Like, how is that a thing? Really nuts. And it's been about 20 years, and the one before that was 20 years before her. So Eleanor Hughes
Wow.
was our first female mayor in the 70s, and then Elaine Brock in the early 2000s, and I think maybe we're on a 20-year cycle. We'll see.
Well, you know what? It's time. It's time for change, and I'm just so proud. Wait a minute. Wait, before I even go anywhere, y'all, we got a Senate seat. We finally got a Senate seat. Yes. I am so proud of him. Remick got his seat, and I'm so glad it didn't go to that crazy lady, because she's straight up MAGA.
And baby
Um,
MAGA is mad, and they giving every excuse in the book about what's wrong. But Stephanie, you know what I love more than anything? Part of District 9, the state Senate district, falls completely within District 12. So
I
District
know.
12 has not had a Democrat in office since 19 since for just more than 25 years. And so this is proof again that it is time for a change. And the fact that State Senate District 9 was flipped, which is fully within District 12. I mean, it says what I have been saying since the first time I came on your show, Stephanie. Is people want change, and 2026 is going to bring in a huge change. It's going to be a tsunami of change in 2026, and Trump and his regime has to do something to try and stop it, like national elections.
You know what? I agree with you. I agree with you because what is it? CD18 finally down in Houston, they finally elected. They have somebody that's finally representing them in Houston. They went what 360 something days
Damn
without.
near a year, 4 years since the last guy died, and then Greg Abbott took. But Greg Abbott did this intentionally. But you know what though? They only got the lead in Congress by one seat now, just one seat, majority lead, and
They need
so
one. Hey,
it's
all
it's
right,
coming. I'm
it's
telling you,
coming.
Stephanie. All the polls that I have paid for and I have ran, it's pretty much for me. It's besides the cost, it seems like a almost a done deal. And I'm out in public daily, and you'd be surprised where I am. People walk up to me and say, "Hey, you're Dr. Morgan. I saw you. You got my vote." And I was way out in Hearst this morning, and people stopped me in the store to let me know that they recognized who I was, Stephanie. And so I know something is going right, and I know Craig Goldman and MAGA is terrified right now because, baby, that tsunami done hit the land and it's washing out everybody.
Well, you know what? They should feel like that. They should because all they have done have lied, steal, lie, pedophile cover up, lie, steal. Did I mention that they be lying? The people
That's the
are
first motto
tired
to
of it.
being MAGA is to lie and deceive the people. But to see people's not listening to that crap anymore. They open up their eyes, they're paying attention, and they're watching. They're watching. But what I do want to see, and what I do think most of the voters want to see, they still want to see, and I hate to say this again, they want to see unity, and it's the Democratic Party. And Stephanie, I still don't see it. There was a fight
Ooh,
between
ooh. Oh, I'm finna do like my dad used to do. My dad was a preacher. Put a pin in it. Put a pin in it. Let me get Angela up here so she can introduce herself right quick before we start talking about this stuff. Dale, hopefully the temperature won't go up like it did last week because I was like, I was clutching my pearls to today. I'm not wearing the pearls because they might break.
These are
So
dangerous times for pearl wearing because there's a lot going on where the frank conversation is going to have to lead to pearl clutching, and we don't want to break the pearls, so we'll just leave those at home for now. We'll save
I'm
them
gonna
for
bring you
combos
on that.
next race, right?
Go ahead.
I think. So I'm so glad to be here, and I love that you just kind of turned to me in this moment of talking about unity instead of division, because that's really what my theme is about in my race for mayor of Denton. Just to introduce myself to your fans, my name's Angela Brewer. I am a Denton girl. This is my hometown. I grew up here, graduated from Denton High School a long time ago. I'm a two-time graduate of the University of North Texas. My undergrad degree is in political science, and my master's degree is in communication. Then I have a second master's degree in education. So part of the reason I wanted to run for mayor of Denton is because I have a deep love for this community. This is the town that I grew up in, but it's not just that I grew up here. I think it had so much to do with who I am as a human now. I grew up in a house where my mom did healthcare. She provided prenatal care and childbirth services for women without insurance in our community. Um, and then after our county hospital shut down in Denton, she and her friends became political activists. I don't think any of them wanted to be political activists. Honestly, they were all nurses and in the healthcare industry and in providing healthcare for folks in our community, and none of them were really interested in activism. But when we lost that county hospital resource in our community, my mom and all of her friends got together and created a prenatal care and birth center that charged on a sliding scale basis. So some women without insurance were able to come in and get care for free in that birth center and in the prenatal clinic that they started. So I grew up in a house where I saw problems being solved by neighbors getting together to solve them. And I think it was really deeply rooted in my core of seeing that happen here in Denton. It's made me want to run for mayor and to serve this city. We have seen over quite a few years now, at least 12 years, that we have seen our city council become more and more divided, where we've seen more of our national partisan politics playing out in the city council level. And I've always been a Democrat, and I love being a Democrat, and I've run for other offices as a Democrat, but I believe very firmly that we cannot have that sort of national partisanship in city council, because there's no role for it, right? City council and the mayor's office and the work that we do in local government is very much around community building. It's about bringing people together, not dividing them, right? And so it is the chance for us to get out there in the community, share our values, find our neighbors, and then work together to solve our problems locally. So I'm really excited to be running for mayor of my hometown. It's a dream that's been in my imagination since I was a little kid. I was like 12 years old. I met our mayor, and his name was Ray Stevens. He's still alive. I shouldn't say was. His name is still Ray Stevens, but he used to be the mayor here. And when I was a kid, I was just so impressed by him, that this very, I thought, very important person in my community. When I met him when I was 12, he shook my hand and he looked me in the eye and he said, "It's nice to meet you, miss." And I thought, man, being mayor would be the best. Like, that seems like such a cool job. So it's now, I don't know, 40 years later, and I am finally pursuing this dream. And it is really exciting to be running for this particular job at this particular time, because like Dr. Morgan was saying a minute ago, like we see so much division, right? Obviously, like, you turn on the news, like, it is overwhelming, right? I feel overwhelmed every day by not just the lies that are being told, but the purpose of those lies, right? The purpose of those lies is to make us scared of one another. It's to make us look at our neighbors funny. It's to make us uncertain about everyone around us, right? And make us think that our communities aren't safe. That's not true, right? It's just not true. And the entire point of spreading those kinds of lies is to create division, because as long as there's division, then the power can stay in place, right? We hold status quo as long as there is no unity. But when we come together and we're in community and we're focused on solving problems, that's when we can make real change. That's when you shake the foundations for all those folks who've been holding on to power, whether they're Democrats or Republicans, because unfortunately we got folks in our own party who are doing this nonsense where they have prioritized power and holding on to that power over actually listening to what communities need. Right. And so when we've got that power structure in place, they need us as the people to stay scared and to stay scared of one another. Because if we come together and unify, they can't continue to stay in power. Right. We're going to shake that. And I think Minnesota, as much as my heart breaks every time I see the news, I also find a huge amount of sustainment for my soul, right? Watching these people go out in negative temperatures and protest day after day after day and sing songs. Some of my favorite stuff to watch right now, there's a group called Singing Resistance in Minnesota, and they get together and they go into neighborhoods where they know there are immigrant families living, and they have been filling the streets with like 2,000 people singing these songs, basically just saying, "We are strong, we are brave, we are here for you, that you stay safe, we've got this." And when you see communities unify like this, when you see people come together and refuse to believe those lies and refuse to be scared of their neighbors, that's where this trouble's coming from for the power structure, right? That's why we're going to see this tsunami coming, is because people are done. They're done being told that my neighbor's scary, or my neighbor who looks different than me or prays different than me or speaks a different language in their house than I do is a problem and something to be feared. That we know that's not true. We know our neighbors, right? We know they're not scary. We know even if they're different than us, or even if they put somebody else's political sign out in their front yard, right? That there's still values that we share in common. So it's one of the reasons I'm super excited to be running for mayor, because it is a nonpartisan position, and we can really just not pay as much attention to those political labels and really think about what are our values that we share as a community. So that's all of my excitement, and I'm feeling. I sometimes feel a little bit. I don't know, like, there's a little bit of a paradox right now, right? And I think a lot of us are suffering this paradox where we know we have to hold optimism and hope for the future while simultaneously holding the trauma of the moment, right? That it is so very bad right now. But I cannot let myself believe we are going to stay here. I refuse to believe it. I can't allow that sense to sink into my soul. Hopelessness will never get us where we need to be. So you can call me naive or gullible or whatever, but I refuse to let go of optimism for our future because I believe in the American experiment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If I can piggyback off of something that she said when we was talking about division earlier, um, Angela said something that I completely agree with. When it comes down to community, there has been such a massive divide because of the fact that maybe we have different religions or maybe we don't look alike, but at the end of the day, we're all here to raise families. We all have priorities, we have concerns, we have safety concerns, we have code compliance concerns. There are certain things, as mayor. I'm also running from. I haven't introduced myself to Angela. I'm also running for mayor in Irving, and only one woman has ever been mayor in Irving. I know, but she is absolutely amazing. And Irving is so diverse. So you would think that there has been more, women there, but it hasn't been. And so Irving is in dire need of that community, that togetherness. But also, Dr. Kenneth said something earlier. He said the people aren't feeling like they're being heard. People are being, silenced. Specifically in Irving, when you go onto our website and you type in who is my representative, you cannot find who your representative is. That search bar doesn't work. And that's something that keep us divided. And so, small issues like that we have to tackle. We have to make sure that the community feels heard. We have to make sure that we're getting out there, we're being boots on the ground, grassroots, having a grassroots campaign, connecting with people and letting them know we're here. We're here. We feel the same pressure that you're feeling inside of the economy. We are under the same pressure and we are here to fight. We can be your voice. Dr. Kenneth said, he said, they're not feeling heard. They're constantly going, they're fighting, they're marching, they're protesting, but the people in position, they're not listening. And in Irving, it's something similar to that extent where you have different residents that has had several code compliance issues in their apartments. People don't listen, and so although we have great crime statistics in Irving, there's so many other issues that the city has in regards to its actual residents that we have to pay attention to, that need solutions, and it needs solutions now. It needs solutions now. So yes.
I totally love that. I totally love that. I, listen, at this point, it's like if you were born like in the 70s, so you probably have a little PTSD with a lot of the things that were happening back then. Women, I was like 1 or 2 years old when women had rights. So I thought that was such a huge thing growing up. Like, oh, I have rights over my body. And here it is, 2026, we still don't. And now they're trying to take our name away from us because if you get married and you choose to get your spouse's last name, it does not match what your birth certificate. So I'm like, okay, do you need a new birth certificate? Do you tell me what to do? Because I don't get it. And can you imagine about those women who have been married 5 or 6 times? What they're gonna have to go to? Their names will never match their birth certificate. Never. So I think whoever brought that stupid bill up need to toss it away because it's not going to work. You're trying to suppress the votes, and that's basically what it is. But I really know that our viewers are and the people out there, they're really feeling disconnected, like no one's listening. And I'm gonna bring this up to Kenneth, with Colin Allred coming on the other night and was talking about Tallarico and Jasmine Crockett. I'm with you. Both of y'all made the comment about division and we need to come together. That bothered me. And I like Colin. I really like Colin. And I stand up for him. But we don't need to give the Republicans gasoline to put on a fire. Does that make sense? We don't,
Yeah. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
we don't need to do that. And I don't think that he's a mediocre person. I've met him. I admire him. You know, did his campaign run the way it should have? No, it did not. Do I think James Talrico said something? Yes, I do. I think he did say some slick stuff. And he thought, you know how we are. We talk to our friend and think that we can say stuff to our friend, not knowing that our friend gonna roll it back and go tell somebody else.
But you know, Stephanie, it's difficult to know when you see these presentations on TikTok and you see those videos. It's really difficult to know with 100% certainty who said what, because you got so many bots and you got so many people being paid to slang negative mud that's not true, you know. But Colin came out and he said something, but
He
it's such
did.
a debacle between. I, I'm just gonna say our party needs unity. Period. The end. It needs unity, and I think all this bickering does is further divide the party. Period. Whether it's Tallarico, Jasmine, or Ari, it just brings further division. And you know where I stand. It does. You know, maybe one of those guys should have ran for governor. I don't know. I just it is what it is. You got strong personalities there. You got you had Mark in it. He dropped out. I mean, you got a lot of different dynamics going. I can say that I am still, as a voter, undecided on who I want for my Senate. I'm not going to vote for Jasmine just because she's black. I'm not going to vote for Tallarico just because he's part Mexican or whatever his culture is. It's whoever earns my. You still have to earn my vote. I'm still a voter, regardless of as being a candidate. I'm still a voter, and I still look for the same things the other voters look for in that candidate that they want to vote for. You need to convince me that you are the best person for me, and as a voter, I want to see unity. I want to hear you say something that you're gonna do and you do it, because right now politicians' words to me don't mean shit, because they talk the talk, but they don't walk to walk. Look at the people in Washington. Look at what they're saying. Look at what they're doing. They're not representing us. Dale, I mean, come on. We got a minority here. It's just you and me, Dale. Help me out. You know, it's they're not giving us what we need. I don't care who it is. They're fighting in Washington. We still don't have health care. We still don't have half the things we need, but we want to give ICE $80 billion more dollars. Trump now wants to nationalize voting. There is still no unity amongst our party, and we have enough people in Washington, be it Democrats, that right now the Republicans, whether even in the House, they cannot pass a bill without some kind of bipartisan support at this point in the game, but yet we're still so damn weak that we're still folding. They're still folding.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree. I will say this: there's some comments on Facebook by Eugene. It says, "Yes, I want to see unity. That's the only way to win these upcoming elections." He also says, "Anyone can make a mistake, so they need to stop bickering and stand in unison." Um, I certainly agree to that point, and I definitely know that it's tough right now because the Republicans have a trifecta, but I think that's going to change.
But it's
Um,
weak.
yeah, true. Well, I mean, I guess the thing is this: we don't have control. The Republicans have total and complete control. So, I guess my question would be, what does strength look like then? Because, for example, if there's a Democrat who's compromising with a Republican, this is something I honestly struggle with myself. I say, is that weakness or is it that that's the only option the current elected Democrat has? Right? It's a tough question, I understand. And I don't even know how to answer that myself.
I'm going to say this, Dale. If the Democrats that are breaking ranks with the other Democrats, if their district is calling and saying, "Hey, we don't want you to do that," and that's the majority of his district, then I understand that. That I understand that vote. But then make that clear to the people of your district. If the majority of District 12 is saying, "Hey, Kenneth, we don't give two damns about ACA subsidies," then that means my vote for ACA subsidies needs to be a no because the majority of my district is telling me no. But then the people in my district are saying we wanted it. I need to be able to get out in my community and say, "Hey, I got 2/3 of District 12 saying no and only a third saying yes. As a whole, guys, this is where I am. This, I have to do what is in the best interest of the district as a whole because if the majority of the district is saying no, then that's how you respond. But if the people are not saying that, and these guys are just making a decision without listening to the people that they were hired, because they were hired literally through a vote to represent, then we got a problem. And right now, they're not listening. They're not being heard because I'm watching from here. And between the marches that are here in DFW and the ones that are in Minnesota, we're not being heard. I don't care whether you're Republican or Democrat, we're not being heard because I feel like right now, I don't like having to say, "Well, yeah, I'm your Democrat." I don't give a damn about a party. I want to represent the people because the people as a whole want change. It doesn't matter whether you're red or you're blue. It doesn't matter right now because people are crossing over as they see in District 9. You got Republicans that voted for Taylor. They did. They voted for him. Period. And that says something. And if people are not getting it, people are crossing the aisles to vote blue, even if they were red, because they want something different. And Donald Trump has destroyed what Republicans once stood for. And so right now, people are just wanting unity. They want identity. They want to respect. They want it to be heard. And we're not getting it. So if we don't get it, that just means in November, votes may be different if we don't do something different now. And so for me to sit here and attack my next Democratic person, I don't think that's what the party wants to hear. But at the same time, this is primaries. And so I've done everything I can not to call out my person that I'm running against in the primaries rather than say this is what I bring to the table and let the voter decide.
Exactly. And that's basically what I've been telling a couple of candidates. Don't worry about what the GOP doing. Don't well, let me even rephrase that. Don't worry about what MAGA doing because MAGA gonna burn itself out. They're
Yep.
just like the next best cookie that's on the shelf, you know, and they're gonna wind up, it's only a limited time that they're gonna have that particular cookie and then it's gonna go away. And then you're gonna have your regular Oreo cookies.
But Stephanie, they moving into Project 2026 now, so we don't want to underestimate them on what they're
I,
doing because baby, we done completed 2025 and we in a book 2026 now, and so
I,
Stephanie, no, I don't mean the book. When I say book, Project 2026, there's a whole nother project out that now they're working from, and
Yep.
and part of this, Stephanie, is that go ahead.
Oh, I was trying to sit up here and say that our party, the Democratic Party, needs to be writing their own change. What we gonna do to correct this here? Because we cannot wait till no 2028 for things to change. That's the next presidential election. We can't afford to wait. I'm on pins and needles because if especially if you're a soldier, if you have a relative that's in the military, you're on pins and needles right now because we got war, a potential war over here, potential war over here, and even boots on the ground in our own country where they might have to attack their own people. That's stressful, you know.
Yep.
So I think that's part of the reason why people are being disconnected because it's so much chaos that's going on. I feel like we're in a country of ADHD.
We beyond ADHD. They need more than Ritalin. They need a whole lot of other stuff. But we got to get back to the basics, Stephanie. And
You do.
for me, Unity for me, what the party looks like for me now, in my view as a congressional person, is the party for me looks like unity. It looks like getting things done. It looks like putting the people before politics. That's what it looks like for me. You know, going back to my community and saying, hey, what do you want? What do you need? And then I take that back to Washington and with real transparency, because I intend to conduct a lot of virtual meetings, a lot of streaming live, because I want to hear, I want the people in District 12 to hear what's going on here in Congress. I want them to see it firsthand so that they're not just thinking, oh, well, Kenneth is lying. He's making it up like Mike Johnson does or whoever these other people in Washington are doing. But if we hear it firsthand without all these, let me use this for example, the Clintons. They're making the Clintons testify in the Epstein issue, right? Because they didn't let everybody else make everybody else testify. They got away with it. Well, if the world gets to listen to the Clintons testify, it changes the game. But they intend to hold a behind closed doors hearing with the Clintons. No, 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 no.
No, they need to
Let
be
the
a,
people hear everything that the Clintons have to say, not behind closed doors.
yeah. I
Absolutely.
I agree. It definitely needs to be transparency, and I agree with you. The people are tired.
Hmm.
They're tired of being lied to, and they're tired of the bull crap and all the mudslinging that's going on. I have not seen so much mudslinging since the 80s. And it was a and you know the state that I'm from, they sling baby. When I tell you they sling mud, they be slinging the mud from the rooter to the tutor. They coming after your mama. You
It's that
know,
special swamp mud y'all have got, right?
But Stephanie, with
man,
all of this slinging, Stephanie, I have not heard a plan yet to address affordable housing, healthcare,
exactly.
homelessness. I haven't heard anything to address any issue. And this is the 2026 primary and the general election coming up. And right now, there are not going to be very many votes on the floor. If they do, they're going to be missed because everybody is skirting the issues, and Senate and Congress is not addressing the issue. They're talking about it. They're talking about it in front of the cameras.
No, they
But I,
talking around it. They're talking around it instead of talking to the people that matters. You know, the people like here in Denton County, most of the people that I have spoken to, they have one huge issue, and that's no matter if they blue or red. I feel like we're in the Bloods and Crips right about now, but
yep,
they want infrastructure.
Mhm.
Everybody's complaining about the same thing about
Yeah.
these bad roads, and we got y'all. Let's be real. We have bad roads throughout freaking Texas. So that brings me to this point. Where the hell is our tax dollars going if it's not going for the infrastructure? Oh, that's right. They
private
didn't.
and charter schools.
They didn't want it.
Mhm.
Remember? Remember when President Obama was trying to do infrastructure? Oh yeah, let's vote that out. We don't need their money. We don't want your money. Okay, all
Mhm.
righty. 635 broke down roads and cracks and stuff on your bridges and stuff like that. And if a good strong wind hit it, it might depart. It might depart. Oh yeah, let's go roll it back again. Did Trump do anything? No.
Trump ain't did shit. Trump ain't done anything
Exactly.
but to
And
further his agenda. Did you see all the money he's making? And as a matter of fact, there was a ruling where they were actually putting a freeze on all of his assets that
they
he
need
owned.
to because he's trying to sue the con. I can't
$10 billion.
up.
IRS leaking this.
How in the world can you sue the American people because you were investigated? And not only that, if you anybody worked as an election judge, they going back 6 years back and trying to pull at records
The
from
statute of
Georgia.
limitation has already expired. But more importantly, the people need to realize, and the fact that Texas gave up one, our voter files,
Yep.
quietly, and it was never talked about. It was never mentioned. President Trump them had no. The Department of Justice had no freaking need for our voter record, other than they want to be able to filter through and watch us. But you know what they said today on the news? They said they're gonna have ICE at every polls when it's time to vote for the general elections. They was gonna have ICE present at the polls to make sure that it was citizens voting. ICE has no place outside of the election poll.
That's intimidation. That's that. That's a lawsuit just waiting to happen. And I'm like this here, Democrats, y'all need to reverse the bull crap that's going on. You're gonna have to reverse thinking. If they're doing this, then you're gonna have to do this. You got to come up with a plan. Whoever our leaders are, y'all need to get it together. If you don't know how to strategize, you might want to get with some people that do know how to strategize, the real people, because you can't get these folks from the East Coast. No offense, East Coast, if you're listening, you can't get the people from the East Coast in the North to come down here in Texas and tell us what to do, because you don't have no understanding of what goes on in Texas. Let me break it down to you. Whatever happens in Texas goes throughout the United States. So Texas, basically, as we always have said, is our own country. Basically, we run this place, but we got to get these dirty people out of office and put some good, strong people that's going to stand up and fight for folks and do the right things.
Absolutely.
It's time out for getting those people that is my boy Dale is always talking about what is it, Will Ferrell, talking about those billionaires that's dumping money into dumping good money maybe into bad stuff. We need to change that. We need to get money out of these campaigns. We really do.
Yeah, yeah. You're talking about Tim Dunn and Ferris Wilkes, and then the
Yeah.
major issue there is that at the state level in Texas, there is no cap to how much money that you can receive. There are certain caps within certain time limits for congressional candidates, but not for state level candidates in Texas.
Seven thousand
Also,
dollars total is it's
Or
thirty
city
five
level
hundred per
candidate.
it's
Right.
$7,000 total between primary and the general. Total. $7,000. $3,500 for each cycle.
yeah. Also on Facebook, we have some comments. Eugene says, "We can't make change if we are not in control. We got to win to make changes." It also says, "Yes, we need a 2026, 2027, and 2028 playbook. People need to know what they're voting for." And then he also said he made a lot of money last year with schemes and weakening laws through crypto. But I want to hear from Ms. Brewer and Ms. Jackson. Your thoughts.
So I think one of the things that's really interesting, thinking about sort of the brokenness of Congress and our federal level, is how that trickles down to the city level. Because, like Stephanie said, and like Kenneth was saying, that uh, the the problems that we face with things like infrastructure, affordable housing, many of these problems, most of these problems, are things that a city government cannot finance on its own, right? Like if you look at, for example, affordable housing, which is one of the biggest issues, probably the biggest issue we face in Denton, Texas right now. You can't get an apartment in this town anymore for less than a couple $1,000 a month. It is absolutely nuts. We also, if folks who are trying to buy homes in Denton are completely priced out of the market because we have so many investors coming in and buying property. So anytime an affordable property goes on the market, it gets sucked up within a matter of minutes, sometimes by all cash investors, to where we're now in a place where about 55% of the single family homes in Denton, Texas are rental properties, are not owner occupied, which that's not a great situation for a city to be in, having more than half of your single family homes be rental property. We really want to see families who are here for the long term being in these spaces, and that's how we strengthen community and build community in roots that go deep, right? But when we start looking at affordable housing issues, there hasn't been rental assistance available in our community for almost 2 years now. I serve on the board of a nonprofit here in town that used to do rental assistance. The rental assistance programs were funded through the federal government, through HUD. And when the administration had a change, there was no extension of any of that money. So now, if you're in Denton, Texas right now, and you can't pay your rent this month, or you can only pay half, there's actually nowhere to get help to be able to pay the other half of your rent for the month. I am so worried after that winter storm last week, because anyone who's working an hourly wage, in the service industry. And I mean, anyone who's working for an hourly wage missed a whole week's worth of income last week. And I don't know what's going to happen when rent comes due, right? Like, what are you going to do when you've missed a week's worth of income and you got to try and get your rent paid? There are too many people in my community who just can't do that. And there is no help from the federal government anymore, which then leaves city governments in a real bind because we have a, we're the ones who are looking our neighbors in the eyes, right? We're the ones who have to talk with and visit with the folks who need some support and help to get through the lean months. And we have absolutely nothing that we can offer them at the city level. Our nonprofit organizations don't have anything to offer. And the federal government saying it's a state problem. And our state government obviously does not want to do anything that supports any actual human beings trying to make their ends meet in this state. Our state government is very much only interested in helping folks who have already made it, right? Not those who are working to get there. That's not who they're into supporting. So it really leaves folks in city government struggling to find ways to support communities. And we're at almost a breaking point in Denton when it comes to housing right now, where a lot of the folks who are in our service industries, who are our city employees, who are working for our police departments and our fire departments and working for our city, who pick up our trash, who work in our schools. A lot of these folks can't afford to live in Denton anymore. So they're living, I call them the Denton suburbs, which is silly, but these more rural communities that are, 10 or 15 miles out from Denton, because they can't afford to live in the city anymore. And I know that is an absolute sin, that you have people who are working every day doing the basic infrastructure sort of work that keeps us going. They're cooking all the meals in our cafeterias. They're making hospitals run. They're cleaning up our streets. They're making sure our parks are well cared for. They're out there, our police officers, right, who did amazing work over this past winter storm, trying to get people who were on the street off the street and into warm spaces, making sure that there were like 100 traffic accidents in Denton last week. Like, all these police and firefighters who had to be out there serving the folks who either weren't able to stay home or who decided to be cute and didn't stay home and got themselves in a bad situation. But all these people who are serving us as a community can't even live here anymore. And part of that problem is fed by the brokenness in Washington, D.C. and the brokenness in Austin, that city government it's really the place where the buck really stops, right? The buck really stops in city government, because at the end of the day, we're the folks who are going to look at our neighbors being put out of their houses and then having to find ways to support and help those folks when they get put out of the house, right? We're the ones who see our job market actually suffer, and companies decide not to move here because we don't have decent public transportation and they can't count on employees be able to get to work all the time, right? Like, we at city government, we really see the day-to-day implications of the decisions that are being made at the state and federal levels. So when folks in DC can't get their ish together and get things straightened out, and folks in Austin are even worse, I think, sometimes than the folks in DC, that we in city government are the ones who have to figure out how to deal with it. So cool. We've decided to take that on, I guess. What were we thinking?
So in Irving, homelessness has definitely been a big issue. I have constantly fought, and for the past couple of months, constantly contacting people concerning homelessness. We don't have a single shelter for homelessness. We don't have, I'm literally not, we don't have one single shelter for homelessness. Now we have temporary housing assistance, but it's nothing like where you can get a voucher, if you're struggling with homelessness, where you can actually find a place to go and call somewhere home, but it's not just even that. Mental illness, some people, they get arrested and they're dealing with mental health issues, and these are things that we have to address as the city. We can't continue to allow people to go untreated and misdiagnosed. They're going into prisons at a rapid rate. Our jails is filling up when these people need proper mental health treatment. And Irving, we don't have no type of training that we can give right now to our police officers and to our first responders that says, hey, this person is having a mental health crisis and they don't need jail time. That's a waste of tax paying dollars, you know. And so when you talk about city budgets, just looking at those budgets and finding small solutions like that, you know, where we try to implement precautionary solutions so that we can continue to help people in the community, help with homelessness, help with mental illness, and just try our best overall to bring people together as a community. Get out inside of your city, get out and vote, meet other people, participate, you know. And we want people in Irving to feel connected. We want them to know that we are a people that's representing you. We are your voice. We're voting how you want us to vote. We're going to listen to the residents. We're going to take the code compliance issues seriously. Somebody has to have a backbone and stand to the people that's not doing anything for anyone. There's people in Irving that's saying, hey, I'm afraid. The big data centers are moving in. There's people in Irving that's talking about the possibility of casinos, you know, but right now, you know, that's a conversation for a later day. But as far as the data centers just coming to Irving, that is hiking up prices. That is going to be a tax hike. And a lot of people are not going to be able to afford that. So we have to literally fight against these data centers, fight against these big businesses that's coming in and hiking up taxes. Otherwise, people that has been living in Irving for the past 20 or 30 years won't be able to call Irving home in the next 10 years. So yeah, we have to get together. We have to keep fighting. I'm with you, Angela. I think that you're doing an amazing job, and we just have to keep fighting together for what's right.
Well, and it's it, data centers are a thing we'll have to talk about it. We should have a whole podcast about data centers, Stephanie.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, that is some stuff there, right? But thinking about the problem with our unhoused neighbors and mental illness and policing and jails and how these things become intertwined, it was kind of mind-boggling. I met with one of our former police chiefs. This was a couple of years ago, and he was telling me, you know, our county jail in Denton County is the single largest provider of mental health services in the county, and it's larger than basically everything else combined that's going on in our county. That we are providing mental health services through the jail. That's where we are providing mental health. We are waiting for things to get so bad in people's lives that they end up in crisis and they end up arrested and going to jail, and then that's when they can finally get the actual help that they needed that might have prevented them from entering the judicial system in the first place, right? and and worst case scenario, we had a student. I was just at a memorial a couple of weeks ago. There was a UNT student named Darius Tarver who, this was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, was killed by the Denton police in the middle of a mental health crisis. That he had had a complete break and mental health crisis, and the neighbors and his roommate, actually one of his roommates, called the police and was talking to one of the officers on the phone, trying to explain what was going on. But in that process, the other officers confronted him, and he came at them, and they shot and killed him. And that was completely connected to the mental health crisis he was experiencing. And if that had been approached differently, if he had had other opportunities to get help, or had been approached by a different group of people than the armed in bulletproof vest police officers who responded, that could have had a very different outcome. And Darius would probably still be here today, instead of having memorial services held for him.
Wow, that's a mouthful right there. It's,
Yeah.
we, you know what, I'm gonna tell y'all this why are people disconnected. I told you this was gonna be juicy today, and y'all have brought so much to the people so they understand exactly where you stand on. And I agree with you, Kenneth, Dr. Kenneth, when you say we have to work together. We do. We all need to merge together, work together. That's the only way we're going to survive these next 3 years. And we got to have plans in place. We can't constantly sit up here and talk about this person or that person. People want solutions.
Absolutely.
Okay, we know we got a problem. We know there's a fire in the house. Now, how you going to put it out? You know? Y'all can tell I'm a PK. We always use
I
that.
am too.
You
But
know,
that's the thing, Stephanie. We want a solution, but we want to see actions.
Right.
Actions speak louder than words.
Absolutely.
yeah. Before
Period.
we wrap this up, oh my gosh, you hit on the mental issue, and here in Denton County, matter of fact, up in North Texas, I honestly cannot believe that we do not as much money as Texas has. I do not understand why we do not have a mental hospital in each one of these counties.
Yep.
That is something that we're going to have to
The
fix.
big bitter bill.
Well, and robust systems in place from, I would argue, from preschool, right? Like start coming into schools and doing programming not in response to mental health problems, but in building strong mentally healthy people, right? Like let's start on the prevention side of this stuff, right? And start really getting in with young people and identifying any problems they might have early, but also teaching them skill sets that help them maintain their own mental health and be able to self-identify better when they need help. And then also coming in on the treatment side of that with these ideas of how do we get treatment programs, how do we get support systems in place for people. And I mean, it's such a complex issue, and I know we're trying to wrap up, but how much of mental health crises, so people who have maybe chronic mental health problems but are brought into crisis because of the economic pressure they face, right?
Mhm.
That maybe you have a mental health
Mhm.
condition that you can manage as long as things are okay in your life, as long as you can make ends meet, as long as you're not afraid of being evicted, as long as you feel like your job is steady, right? As long as you feel like it's safe to walk on your streets. But when you get into a place where now we're not sure what's going on in the economy and I keep seeing companies lay people off, and I'm not having, everything's still expensive at the grocery store and the gas is up, but my paycheck didn't go up, and now my taxes are up, and now this data center's jacked up my electric bill, and like all of this comes together that really triggers people's mental health problems that exist maybe in a way that's manageable, and this throws them into a position where it's no longer manageable, which then compounds all of those other problems, right? Like it's this terrible cycle that we get stuck in because we're not doing the right community-based activities through government that we should be doing.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I agree with you because I can tell you today, I was at work and one of the ladies had pulled me to the side and she's like, I just found out that my husband just lost his job. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, there's nothing that you can do because I have a sibling has been out of work since December because her job closed down. And
Yeah.
people mental state right now is like they're one step away from snapping.
Yeah.
And especially with all this craziness, chaos is going on and confusion, and all, you can't trust these jobs because someone mentioned about being off of work, missing money. Well, you know what? In these companies, which they ought to be ashamed of themselves, if you have sick time,
Mhm.
these people should be able to use their sick time for whatever reason. Don't just say, "Oh, it's PTO. You can use your PTO." Well, everybody don't have the same PTO.
That's right.
They might have 8 hours that they can use every quarter. So that's 4 quarters that they have, right? And then they have 40 hours of sick time. And if they part time, they might have 24 hours. Let them people use their sick time and PTOs the way how they want to cover their bills. If once they run out of it, that's on them.
Right.
But this is crucial time and people are hurting and people need help. And I feel like these mega companies don't give two shits about anybody. All they care about is the bottom line. And they
Yeah.
treat people bad. I've seen, even on my job, I've seen how people talk to folks, and I keep looking at folks and be like, you gonna say something to someone and they gonna snap. And when they snap, now you got the police officers coming in and taking this person away from their family because you, the boss, don't know how to talk to people.
Mhm.
You have to understand where we at. And I wish all these bosses understand. You might need to go and learn how to talk to people in crisis. And this might be new to them. Maybe they don't understand. But we're in a sensitive time.
Yeah.
Your workers are sensitive right now. They don't know if they, like you just said, if they're going to pay that $400 electric bill
Yeah.
or go get a can of milk for their kids. And infant
Yeah.
milk is too dang on high.
Yeah.
So Dr. Kim, you got a lot of work to do once you get into Congress because the prices to take care of infant. I'm so thankful that I had my children when I did and not now because I would not be able to afford. We would only have one child. That's it.
I have a 1-year old, so it's definitely expensive.
Definitely, I
That's
had
it.
5. Remember,
I don't know how you did it. I said, that's a wrap. 3 is enough.
I got 5. The oldest is 32, and the youngest is 21. Thank God
Wow.
I'm retired and done. Vasectomies happen for a reason.
Well, Stephanie, I think what you're
They got
talking
to make
about
some
is kind
changes.
of getting to the heart of the question that we were asking tonight about why people are feeling so disconnected. So that we hear politicians and elected officials talking about a whole lot of stuff that's like, that has nothing to do with my life. My life is about I can't pay my bills. My life is
Exactly.
about I'm afraid that somebody's about to get laid off. My life is about why is gasoline so expensive all the time? Right? My life is about like why is the electric bill so high? That's what my life is about. And y'all are up here talking about all this nonsense that has no relative play in my world, where on the things that are in the front of my mind day to day and the things that I need to sit down and talk with my husband about in our budget about what are we going to cut next month so that we can afford the increase at the grocery store, how we have stopped eating beef altogether at my house. And I try to tell myself it's for my heart, but it's not. That stuff is just too expensive
It
at
is
this
for your
point.
heart and that wallet, because that wallet gonna hit that heart, and that heart gonna say, "I'm done."
On both sides, right? But I mean, I would love to go get some steak, but it's completely unaffordable. We used to treat ourselves a couple times a month, not anymore. Like that's just not an option anymore. So
What they
I
said
think
just got
part of
real,
the
huh?
real right. I think part of this disconnect people feel has to do with the fact that politics and elected officials concerns just seem so separate and apart from what we're dealing with in our day-to-day life. And it's one of the things that I really appreciated about James Talrico is the way that he positions his core message that this isn't about left versus right. This is about the top 1% versus the 99% of the rest of us. And I think that is a message Democrats have got to get on. I think that's what Taylor did to win his race too, that he was really focused on issues of working people, right? That's the majority of folks out there. That's the majority of voters. They're folks who go and work their asses off to make a living, and that living doesn't go far enough anymore. And they can't work any more hours. They're tired, and there aren't
Yes.
any more hours to get. And so when we can focus on those issues that really impact families, that really impact that day-to-day living that people are doing, that's when I think we can help people feel more connected, when they can tune in and think, oh, that's a politician. I know that's a politician, but they're talking about something that's actually relevant to me. Let me pay attention now. Maybe I'll connect to this. Maybe I will be interested. Maybe I'll vote. Who knows?
And don't talk at them, talk to them. And shut up
Conversation.
sometimes and listen to
How
what
they
the
how they do it,
people
Stephanie? Yeah, yeah,
set
that
it
part.
up. Thelma, shut
They
up.
always say, you know what they say is that God gave you one mouth and two ears for a reason.
But you know what? A lot of them don't understand it. They're so into saying I, and they forgot it's we. We the people. We the people matter. Whatever
Absolutely.
decision, and I've said that when I ran for Senate, whatever decision that I make, it's gonna affect everybody. It doesn't matter. So you know what, this is a good topic, and I feel like we're gonna have to come back to it because right now people are they need to turn off your social media sometime. Give your brain a break from watching the news. Go pick up a book, go read a book, disconnect
Touch
from
grass.
go paint, go do something besides being on social media. I mean, that's my takeaway. Dale, I don't know what you do. I want to go fishing when it warms up. I want to go fishing. That's what I now. I have to have my husband to go hook the little worm or whatever he using on it, and then if I happen to catch it, I need. Don't look at me like that, Kenneth. I need him to go take it off, right?
Mhm,
Because
mhm.
I'm not gonna touch it. I'm OCD with certain stuff. I just can't touch it.
No.
But that's my way of how I'm like. I like to get back into Mother Earth. I love just getting
No,
back
you
into.
don't. You don't want Mother Earth, and you from Mississippi,
I'm
Tennessee,
Texas. I mean, not Texas. I'm from Louisiana. Don't you
and
get
you don't know how to put fish on the bait, to bait on
I
bait on
do
the hook.
like it. I do.
She
You're
didn't
not
say she doesn't know how. She didn't say she doesn't know how. She said she doesn't want to. There's a difference.
now, if I got to, because hey, we all might be going to the lake to go fish because that's somewhat free. So they
Not
tax that
anymore.
too. Oh yeah, you can't catch a certain amount, but hey, just go to another lake.
That's gas. It costs too much now.
Yes, yes. Well, y'all ready to wrap up? I appreciate
Yeah,
y'all
because I'm
coming on the
hungry. I'm hangry.
show.
Not hungry, hangry.
I gotta
Listen,
go
we
put a
don't
kid
need
to
to
bed.
have no hangry issues, but I appreciate all of y'all coming on tonight. It was great. I have to bring back on, especially Janae. You just gonna have to come back on and talk
Yes,
about your
ma'am.
campaign. I love having. I'm gonna have to do something, Del. We're gonna have to get the mayors on here, the lady mayors. I have somebody, Shirley
Hold up. I'm
McLean.
finna discriminated against. Hold up. Why ain't gotta be lady mayors? Why
Hey,
can't be
hey,
mayors? This is that gender discrimination type of thing we talk about. See, here we go.
Oh,
I know some. Do I know any male mayors? No. Well, I know one that's running,
Yeah.
but
I know
Do
what
we
Miss
listen,
still
Davis
have
is.
one?
we need to do
Jesus is
some girl
on the
power.
main
You know,
line.
Dr. Kenneth, we got to do some girl power and be lifting us women up because I'm gonna tell you, we need you. We need our brothers to
Oh, now
help
you
lift
need us to
us up.
put the bait on the hook.
Yeah, I do. I ain't gonna lie. I do. I do. We go fishing, Kenneth. Yes, yes. Yes, or I'm gonna have you gonna see me with some gloves on. This nasty. It don't feel right.
But
It
you're
don't
gonna
feel
get
right.
fish that ate the bait.
Listen, and then you gotta clean it. I'll cook it.
Yeah.
I'll cut it up, and I'll cook
Yeah.
it.
Dale, I
I
quit.
just
I
don't.
quit,
It's
Dale.
a pretty
I'm
good
not gonna
deal,
win. I quit.
actually. It's a pretty good deal your husband's getting, Stephanie.
He catching hell. He probably
I
getting.
already know, and that's a song to go with it.
All I can say is this right here. We gotta have some girl power because right now, Dell and Dr. Kenneth, women are being attacked a lot. And especially if you're a minority or married to a minority or dating a minority, we're being attacked. And we have to have a sister bond and we have to show
Solidarity.
solidarity. Thank you. solidarity, because we need each other and we need our brothers to support us, because we're getting attacked. And being a female running for office is hard. It's not easy. We give y'all all the support and love that y'all need, but when it comes to women, sometimes we don't get that support that we need either, because they be coming for us on different levels, and we need our men to stand up for us. And I believe that's what Representative Colin Allred was doing for Jasmine, because she's been kicked, stumped, hair snatching and everything like that, and nobody's really doing that to the other ones. So we just need that support. Nothing against you, because we love you, and we 10 toes down with y'all no matter what y'all decide to do. But I'm gonna shut up, because it's time. I know y'all hungry. I am too. I don't know what I'm gonna eat.
I got some
But
smothered meatballs with rice and some corn.
That sounds good.
Kenneth, you gonna bring some gumbo to my event?
I'll make something just for you. I'll make a small pie just for you.
Okay. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
So nice.
So, Janae, I'm gonna have to send you an invite. Listen, it's 55 for 55, Mardi Gras style. Yes, can you believe it? But I'm gonna give y'all each opportunity to go ahead and do your 2-minute stump speech. Let me see. Dale, pick who gonna go.
Oh, sure. Angela, let's hear your stump speech.
Woo-hoo! Awesome. So my 2-minute stump speech, huh? So like I said, my name's Angela Brewer. I'm running for mayor of Denton because I love my hometown. I'm from Denton, Texas, graduated from Denton High 92, UNT 2 times, and have spent my career in education and communication. I want to be mayor of Denton because the city is at a crossroads. It is projected that in the next 15 years, Denton, Texas is going to double in size in our population. We're at about 170,000 people right now. And by 2040, we're going to be sitting around 320,000 people in Denton. It is critical to me that we do not become suburbs like our neighbors to the east. No shade on Frisco or Prosper or Salina. They're just not the place that I choose to live. When I had a kid and a family, we came back to Denton because we wanted to raise our child here. And I want to do everything in my power to maintain the spirit and soul of this community as we go through this growth. And I think that's possible. But it takes real focus and dedication to that cause. And it takes 100% community investment and buy-in. That my goal as mayor is to approach everything with curiosity, remembering that God gave me one mouth and two ears, right? And that we come together to build community and make sure that our city decisions reflect the needs and wishes of that community, and always keeping who we are as Denton, Texas, in our hearts. We're a little funny, we're a little quirky, we're a little weird up here in the heart of Denton County. We've got our own vibe and our own flavor, and we want to keep it that way. We don't want to be a cookie cutter suburb. So that's why I want to be mayor of Denton, and I appreciate any support anyone wants to swing my way. And I love the support of just like good wishes and thoughts and prayers too. Like that, it's not action on political issues, but it could be action for helping us get through these campaigns and through the election. So thanks for having me on, Stephanie. I hope we get to do it again soon.
We lost volume, Stephanie.
Oh, yeah. I can't really hear Stephanie.
I'm muting my own self. Okay, who's up next?
Ms. Jackson, let's hear your 2-minute stump speech.
Well, my name is Janae Jackson, and I am running for mayor of Irving. I'm so excited to be able to do so. I am a mother of three beautiful children. I am a wife of 10 years. I'm a pastor's kid. I'm a resident of Irving, so I know what it's like to live here and to try to get your voice out and to not be heard or to feel like you're not being seen. So I'm excited to be a voice. I'm excited to be a forerunner. I'm excited to bring my youthfulness. I am 29, so I am in Gen Z. I'm excited to bring a youthful perspective to City Council and bring innovative solutions when it comes down to, again, bringing the community together, solving real issues as it pertains to homelessness, fighting big data centers, and making sure that the residents feel heard, they feel prioritized, and they know that they have someone that's mayor or that's a mayor candidate that's running for mayor. They have someone that is willing to fight for them and be their voice. So again, thank you for having me on the show. I'm excited. I'm ready to fight forward. Again, I'm not intimidated. I know I'm the youngest in my race. I'm not intimidated. If anything, it does nothing but just light a fire in me even more because there are so many things that city council is overlooking as it pertains to my generation and how we feel about things and even our children. We There's so many things that we have to do to protect our children, protect our parental rights. And so, yeah, you can vote for me. In May, voting starts in March. I will be elected in May. I'm sorry. And I'm excited. I'm looking forward to seeing Angela run. I'm looking forward to seeing Dr. Kenneth kill it. And I'm happy to be here today. And I look forward to coming back.
I'm
Just threw brother up on the screen. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna do my stump speech a little bit different. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Dr. Kenneth Morgan Aguilera. I'm running for Congress in Texas 12th Congressional District because I want to bring unity across District 12 and to the rest of the United States because we've had enough diversity and division over the last 12 months. If you want to know more about me, please feel free to look me up. I'm at www.kennethforcongress2026.com. And again, the biggest thing I want to bring and stress is that I want to bring unity across the party and unite all people, not just the wealthy. That was it.
Look at you, Kenneth. All right, Dale, you up. Y'all, Dale
Oh,
is running for office too.
yes, I am. I'm actually running for Denton County Clerk. I don't have a primary right now, so I'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit more in detail further down the timeline. I do want to highlight something that was absolutely disgusting that happened last night. Frisco City Council was a lot of people showed up. I've never seen as many people show up to Frisco City Council ever. Quite a few people who don't even live in Frisco. And if you look at the Frisco City Council video from February 3rd of last night, it is full of racist rhetoric. I've seen some terrible things said at city councils online. I've never seen what I've seen in person. Seeing it in person is a whole other thing. I left the Frisco City Council last night after I spoke because I started to not feel safe. It was straight up rhetoric of claiming that the quote complexion end quote of the city is changing. They even said that Indians are quote invading the city end quote. Um, what happened last night at Frisco City Council was, I think, devastating. And I think Frisco right now is, based upon what I saw last night, Frisco needs to scream a cry for help because the level of racism last night was very blatant. Um, but yeah, I'll leave that alone and try to look and hope for a better future. That said, I will also plug the Frisco Democratic Club. We have two events every month. We have a breakfast, which is coming up this Monday. This Monday, we're going to have our breakfast club, 8:30 a.m. in Frisco, and we also have a happy hour every month as well. Learn more about us at friscodemocrats.org. And Stephanie, thank you for your time.
I muted myself again. Y'all just make me feel like a good old mama. I just love having y'all on here and I appreciate what you do. Please make sure you reach out to me if you're block walking or whatever you need me to do to help you out. Please reach out to me. Of course, let's talk about stuff. I cannot endorse anyone till after primary, but we're not endorsing, but I am giving everyone the opportunity to come on here to talk about their platform and what so the people can get to know you. And I appreciate y'all coming on here. And I hope you're not going to be a stranger. Come back on here and let's talk about what's going on. And especially when y'all win y'all races, I want everybody to come back on here and let's do a shout out or whatever we got to do. I'm so proud of y'all for stepping up and taking that chance, that leap of faith to go do it because the people need people. They need people like you.
Right.
And yes, I'm ready for Denton County Commission. I don't have a primary, but I need everyone to make sure that they focus on, well, it's too late to get registered to vote. So let's make a plan on getting out there to go vote because they're expecting us not to show up. And please, if you're a Democrat, do not go over to the Republican side to go vote in a primary. Stay with your party. Each party, stay with your own people. If you're a Democrat, stay with the Democrat. But if y'all trying to switch over because you're tired of whatever's going on, do what you got to do. But if you're a Democrat, please stay in your district and vote for the people that's going to be representing you. Please, because that's how the money is put back into the parties. Okay, but that's all I have to say tonight. I'm quite sure we got more to talk about, and we're going to kind of change the format up a little bit next week, like we did tonight, and talk about things that people want to talk about. So I appreciate y'all for coming on here. I look forward to seeing what you're going to be doing out there, and you never know, Zara might be coming out there because I like to eat, and we do a live show.
Come on. I can take you
Hey,
out.
listen, I like food.
I got
But
you.
all right. Well, you thank y'all. Hey, folks, if y'all are watching us tonight, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe because that's how we get the message out. And if you're a candidate and you want to come on, let's talk about it, Steph, reach out to me. And now, those of y'all who want to know, yes, I have my website up. Go to draperfortexas.info. Come on now. Let's get some volunteers. Let's get the boots on the ground. All right, we got here.